Welcome, welcome, everybody. This is Justice for All, and I am your hostess, Jocelyn. And it's been a beautiful day here in the neighborhood in New Hampshire. And I'll take the weather all day long. Sunday, we had great weather. Poured yesterday, good weather today. So I was able to stain the deck, paint the back. I still have a lot of painting to do before fall really hits or winter. Just got to get a bunch of things done and ran out of time this summer. So, crazy times. Just got to do what you got to do. Not a lot of people. I'd like to know where all the people are that need jobs. When you need stuff done around your house, when you need help. I can't climb up 20 feet anymore on a ladder and paint. It's just, I shouldn't, I couldn't, and I don't like heights anymore. At one time I did, but now I don't. So I'll just confess that. So yeah, I'd like to know where all those people that want to work and earn money are. So for my open, I had about 17 different subjects. So I'm just going to kind of hit on a few before we go into hypocrisy and lies. But it was very, very interesting that a report came out. I'm trying to find the exact article and I can't find it. Of course, here it is. As of the 2024 election, New England has 0 Republican House members, despite substantial, big, more than normal, more than anybody acknowledges, GOP vote shares. Most notable in New Hampshire, Maine, and Connecticut. There's a lot more Republican voters, which makes no sense why we have 0, not 1, not 2, 0 Republican House members. That means in the federal government. Concern is rising over gerrymandering in New England, meaning though Republicans receive 40% of the votes, they have no representation in Congress. 40%. This isn't mob rule, democracy, mob rule. So we have 60%, so we get all the representation. No, we have 40%, and it should be divided as such. So what does that say? To me, it says that the map of your state is not divided correctly. Or here's a thought. Haven't talked to anybody about it. I could be out of my mind. You all might start rolling your eyeballs. But how about we don't divide states? How about we just vote, and however many Republicans and however many independents and however many Democrats decides how much representation you get? Am I crazy? I thought it's according to the number of people. I didn't know it's according to the number of people in a section. CD1, CD2, LMNOP, QRS. Maybe I'm missing something there. We know Texas redrew the lines. We know California's going to do it. But just take a step back for simplicity's sake. Doge of gerrymandering. How about no lines? Whoops, there goes Miss Regina. Her internet's acting up today. Hope mine doesn't go. So just a thought. I'd love to hear, what people have to say, and please keep it civil. These are legit questions. Everything is over-controlled, overruled, over-statuted, even though that's not really a thing. Just wondering, why can't we just keep it simple? Vote, and the numbers determine it. There's an idea. The other thing, we've got people losing their minds, collectively minds. Texas, tariffs. Oh my God, Trump is doing tariffs. Shut up and sit down. Zip it. Because the point you're missing is for decades, like 60, 70 plus years, China, Japan, Europe have all charged us tariffs, the United States, and we have not. And until Trump, we have not had a president with the cojones with a nice, straight, strong spine that says, you charge us 70%, we charge you 70%. Hello, fair and equal, you know what they toss around, but they really don't mean. Trump is putting the pressure back on them. And oh, by the way, don't forget that since World War, it might be World War I, but I'm definitely sure since World War II, we have paid the United States, no, let me correct that. We, the taxpayer, have had our money stolen and have rebuilt almost every country in this world. We have backed every government in this world. We have sent money to every country in this world. Could you please tell me where? In the Constitution, does it say the taxpayers have their money stolen and it goes to every other country and person in the world except for us, and we make their lives perfect and ours suck? Oh, Jocelyn, you're being a little bit too harsh, am I? Have you driven on a road lately? At least here in New England? Where are the lines? Where are the potholes? Oh, that's right. They just use cold patch because they're freaking cheap. Oh, but let's put some more water pipes in. Let's do some more this and that and suck up. Oh, no, better still, let's make the corner of this road. We'll put $20,000 worth of chain link fence around it and some gravel at the bottom so it looks nice. But screw you and falling into a pothole and maybe having an accident or destroying your $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car because, ooh, did you listen to the news? We no longer have $20,000 and $30,000 cars, new cars. They're $50,000, $60,000, and $70,000. And you don't blink when that little shit kid takes the key and goes, somebody scratched on the back of my mother's car, F. It's a $30,000 car. She has a cheap car. And that's not cheap. I'm just saying in the scheme of things. And somebody scratched that into the back of her car. Who's going to pay for that? Oh, Jocelyn, just do the insurance. Well, then my insurance goes up because somebody didn't have control of themselves or their kids or whatever. I wish there was a way to electrify my car because you know what? When you go and do that, zap, 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 zap. Karma, baby, karma. What is the United States coming to? Well, we know what the United States is right now, and Trump is doing his darndest to save it and to save us. And we've got all these idiots on the left and a bunch of rhinos that are not working for the people. The courts don't work for the people. The legislature doesn't work for the people. The executive branch in most states does not work for the people. And here the government shut down. Good. But Jocelyn, the government workers aren't being paid. I repeat, where in the Constitution does it say that the taxpayers have their money stolen to pay for government workers? The Constitution says that taxes go for infrastructure, defense, which is the military, and trade. It doesn't say for the EPA, for the Board of Education, for the UN, NATO, and all these other LMNOP three-letter agencies. It does not say it. Show me. I'll wait. So anyway, Trump has the cojones to push back on every single country that's charged us tariffs for over 50 years. And it's starting to fill up the bank. So all you lefty, communist, nutcase, socialist, non-patriotic, hateful Americans, go away. Go away. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. Absolutely. And even if you can't quote chapter and verse, Regina's really good at it. Ron's really good at it. I have to go and look what the numbers are. If they say it to me, I know exactly what they're talking about. I just can't quote, oh, it's amendment this and amendment that. My brain is mush. I'm sorry. Too much in there, actually, and too many things that I'm taking care of. Which brings me to My final thought before I go to hypocrisy and lies. Look around at what's going on in the medical world. Our doctors' offices and our hospitals are full of illegals with no insurance, taking up appointments that we Americans have paid for through our paychecks for your whole entire life if you're on Social Security and you're on Medicare, or you're paying secondary insurance and you can't get an appointment for 4, 5, or 6 months. And then when you do, you get a lousy 5 minutes. Then when you do, all you do is you get tests, or they go, well, go home and, try this. And if you don't feel better, come back in 6 months. We have huge issues. There are no alternatives. Everybody's painted with the same brush, and the American taxpayer is getting killed, absolutely killed. And so are the seniors on Medicare, because they're taking $170 out every single month out of the Social Security paycheck before you get it. What's that for? Oh, secondary insurance. Because what you paid, well, I didn't pay, what they stole from your paycheck, which is compensation, not income, they took for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They didn't invest it. They didn't put it in any kind of a savings account where they got interest. No, they just put it into the general fund and let Congress pilfer from it. And they have the audacity to tell us, oh, we're going to run out. Ooh, we got to do something about it. You stole our money. You stole it from our compensation paid to us by our employer. You labeled it income so you could tax it and used it for purposes not intended. And then you reported it to the IRS that this was our income. It's not income. Do you see this? Continual circle, the same stuff, screwing the American people over and over, and you don't even get a breath mint after. How sad is this? And when are you going to stand up and say enough? Stop expecting the same people to do it for you. Because if you're not going to stand with us, if you're not going to support us, if you're not going to fight with us, and I don't mean fight physically, I mean in the courts, in the schools, wherever. If you're not going to stand for what's right and good, I don't have time. I can't count on you. We can't count on you. And why would we? We'll fight for what's right, whether you're there or not. But it would be nice if everybody stood up and did what was right and put their money where their mouth is, or put their support where their mouth is, however that turns itself out to be. All right. 9:15 tonight, right after my show on Telegram. My broadcasters is Reel to Reel with Ron Flosser. Make sure you're there right after the show. You just go right on over to Telegram and click on join and join the discussion, the chat. Brings you all sorts of news from all over the United States, and all sorts of comments are made. So make sure you join in and share, because we love having you. And again, we're independent. Nobody tells us what to do. Nobody owns us, and nobody pays us. So we do this all because we're Americans and because we're patriots. So without further ado, let's move on to hypocrisy and lies. And I'll see you in a couple minutes. All right. I love my new little intro there. Thank you. And don't forget that Shepherd Andrew Serafini, who is Light Dove Ministries, when you need any of the medications, Hallelujah Cream, ivermectin, and all the rest of those things, reach out. Life Dove Ministries, and they will help you with whatever you need. There you go, www.lightdoveministries.com. And our promo code is Street Talk. Both Stiletto and I support it 100%. So make sure you get on over there and get what you need. All right. So without further ado, let's take a look at video number 1. People are going to say, oh, we know all about this. Oh, do you? Because it's coming around, I think, for about the 3rd time. We might be repeating for the 4th time since 2020. But this is a good one. Let's take a look at this video. January 6th.
Let me make 7 quick points. First, one of the original sins of government that has carried and caused the poor treatment of the January 6th protester defendants is the lawless formation of the House Select Committee, the January 6th Committee, leading to it acting in a one-sided and due process-free way. That committee was gerrymandered by Speaker Pelosi, operated without a ranking member or counsel to the ranking member. Liz Cheney was granted vice chair status to try to cover that up. The committee then had a series of carefully scripted by Hollywood hearings where the entire Q&A path was pre-written and meshed with cherry-picked snippets of highly edited video and audio doctored video. The committee interviewed 1,000+ witnesses, it says, but only about 200 transcripts have been released. Second, the January 6th committee worked with regime media, the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, and MSNBC, etc. In that way, the fake narrative that an insurrection had occurred on January 6th was blasted everywhere. Based on secretly recorded video, we now have on tape Nancy Pelosi's documentarian daughter and her friends admitting that no real insurrection ever occurred. The collective effect of the January 6th committee's shameful way of proceeding, plus the reinforcing media blitz, poisoned the jury pool in Washington, D.C. Trial venue transfers out of D.C. should have been permitted.
Interesting. We've been saying it all along. It's been said out loud all along. Now it's really coming down to brass tacks, and I can't wait till every single one of them are dragged for, like my new little intro says, military tribunals, because it's time. That's why I put it in my intro. Interesting, the fake news was fed fake information and fake videos and fake facts. Isn't that interesting? The F word, fake, 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 fake. Interesting. I just can't make this stuff up. I can't, I just can't wait till they identify the 200+ planted FBI agents. That should be very interesting. And let's find out if they were actually FBI. Let's see. All right, video 1A. Let's take a look at this. This is another one, coming around again, just like, bad penny. One world order.
The United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no. It really is not. It's about moving populations into city centers, concentrated city centers, and clearing them out of the rural areas. It's constructed of non-governmental organizations, corporations, and government in order to dictate and regulate what it is that happens around the world. Regionalization is the stepping stone to globalization. And globalization is the standardization of all systems. All systems have to be brought into harmony in order to control them all. And the goal of Agenda 21 is one world government and total control from a central unit.
Isn't that interesting? Everything we've talked about. What I found interesting was all land, all water, all mineral, all food, all energy, all buildings, all construction, and all humans. Who decided that? 197 countries in 1992. Isn't that called slave owners? Are they saying we're slaves? That they own us and they can tell us what to do? That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me, and it's very disgusting. It needs to be totally dismantled. And the person that was really big in there was the Bushes. Did you see those pictures? Yeah. And you thought they were okay. Let's move on to 1B, as I was talking about in my open, funding with tariffs. Take a peek at this one.
As promised, breaking moments ago, more than $200 billion coming into the coffers in tariffs, and now we're learning where some of that money will go. The White House has just announced that the Women and Children Food Program will not be cut off while the government is shut down. Some of the money.
Imagine if everything was funded by tariffs. That's what the Constitution says. That's how the original government was run. But Jocelyn, the government's too big. Exactly the point. The government should never be bigger than all the people working. It should be infinitesimal, just enough to run infrastructure, defense, and trade. Nothing else. Sooner they figure that out, we figure that out and hold them to it, the better. All right. This is a good one. Video 1C. We're talking about this. They tapped Trump, but guess who else they did tapping? Tapped their phones, tapped wherever they were without lawful warrants. They made it all up. Take a listen.
Joe Biden never targeted his political enemies. Joe Biden never directed his attorney general to target his political opponents. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that yesterday we learned that the FBI tapped my phone. Let's look at it. We've got a list. Tapped my phone, tapped Lindsey Graham's phone, tapped Marsha Blackburn's phone, tapped 5 other phones of United States senators. Gee, it sure looks like targeting political opponents to me, and yet I haven't heard a word from that side of the dais about any concern whatsoever. We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for a Justice Department that is tapping the phones of sitting United States senators because who knows why?
Who knows why? Because they can, because they're dirty, because they've all got dual citizenship, because they're not American citizens, because, who knows? Again, the Constitution tells you exactly who can serve, who can't serve, what their job is, and who tells them what to do. We the people. Once again, out of control, no authority. Okay, let's take a quick peek at picture. I'm going to jump forward. 1F. The auto pen. This is very interesting because it's coming back again, like a stomach ache. The Oval Office log shows Hunter Biden is the only occupant on 16 days that the auto pen was confirmed to be used. Isn't that interesting? The only occupant in the Oval Office. Why is Hunter Biden all alone in the Oval Office? The unelected son of a president was calling the shots. That is treason. His sorry ass should be at Gitmo immediately. And like I said, military tribunal. Why that hasn't happened is beyond me. That is vile and disgusting. And why no people aren't up in arms about this, I don't know. Attorney General Pam Bondi says there will be a price to pay for all of those. Guess what? Speed it up, baby cakes, because how many pardons? 10,000 and something criminals? Don't have the details, but that needs to be looked into. If he didn't sign them himself, they are not legit. Who paid for them? Who owns them? All right. You can't make this stuff up. It's disgusting. It's in your face. And still people go to Starbucks and they still order their little coffees at $12 for a grande, and they go to McDonald's and eat the mystery meat that has, from what we're hearing, human parts in it. I don't know. That's what's being reported. Do your own research. And if it's not, is the mystery meat being manufactured meat? Is it plant-based? Is it, made with one of those swirly whirly machines, and God only knows what they make it out of? I want my hamburger to come from a cow. And I want to know what cow in what state, not from all over, God only knows where, 17 billion DNAs in a hamburger. Thank you very much. Okay, that's enough for now. I've got my guest waiting in the green room, so let's go to break one and then bring on Miss Regina Barnes, New Hampshire muckraker.
Hey, Jocelyn.
Hey, I just love that video.
I know, I love it too.
My favorite is Space Force, baby.
Oh, I know. I feel like I should be making another trip there.
I think we should collectively do another. It used to be the New Boston tracking station, and I used to, drive by it with my kids 2-3 times a day. And now it's Space Force, and I don't drive by it as much because I don't live up that area anymore. But gosh,
oh boy,
it's right there. I mean, I expect like we should have aliens landing or something. It's just too exciting. So what's going on in the state of New Hampshire? Oops, she's frozen. She's having internet problems. Yikes. We were talking earlier in the green room, and we were talking about, again, the legislature, the judicial system, and just how absolutely corrupt it is from top to bottom. A few things we were talking about. Positive law. People talk about, what's positive law? What are you talking about? There's statutes and rules. Yeah. That's man's law. That's something they made up after the fact. Positive law is framed from, and it's equal to, the laws of nature, which are the supreme law, period, end of discussion. God's law, supreme law, laws of nature. And anything, statutes, rules, regulations, whatever they want to label them, if they're not in complete, match with the laws of nature, supreme law, then they're not law. They're in conflict, and it just can't happen. It doesn't apply to us. And any of man's laws, the government laws, apply to government workers. Again, not you and me, because they work for us. And those rules and regulations and mandates, that's the word I wanted, mandates and woman dates and all those things belong to them, pertain to them, not us. And that's the problem that we're having right now. All right, something for you all to understand. All rights are God-given. Not man-given, not government-given, God-given. Unalienable, inherent, and natural, which is where laws of nature come from, natural law. They pre-exist any and all governments, declared rights, not granted rights. We have unalienable, natural rights. They're not granted to us by anybody. We own them, they're ours, and nobody can say differently. They are untouchable by statute, untouchable by borders, and untouchable by any emergency. COVID and all the other BS. Hopefully, is she back?
I'm back, man. They don't want me on here tonight, that's for sure.
It is so obvious. It's not funny. I was just talking about the rights being unalienable, God-given. Yep, and untouchable by statute. So what's going on? What's the update, the latest with your case?
So we heard from the town this morning, filed their motion to dismiss as we were expecting. And, mind you, the complaint that we filed, I might not put it in the attorney form, but I'm not an attorney. I'm not subject to their rules. We simply stated what we were founding. We were seeking the remedies, and we simply want the court to rule whether or not they are. If it's unconstitutional, then this is what we want. This is how we can rectify it. Because if it's unconstitutional, if a statute conflicts with U.S. or state law, constitutional law, it's null and void. It's just no one wants to realize any of that because they're all in their la-la status quo land. the NGOs, everything I see nowadays is NGO, NGO, NGO. How many of us have been talking about the NGOs? We should not be having, government should not be having these relationships with non-governmental organizations, 501(c)(3)s, okay? This is what New Hampshire is famous for. That is fascism. And this administrative court, as it appears that it stands now, the town wants the administrative court to rule as an administrative court. But I would like to see happen, and it might be a very small chance, that it actually is a constitutional court or rules like a constitutional court.
Well, it also has to be a court of record, and it has to be a jury. There has to be a jury. And when we were talking earlier, we were talking about what the judge's job is. And you talked about remedy. We the people cannot be deprived of remedy.
Right.
Cannot.
And we're actually, as what we figured out, we actually determine what the remedy would be with, you know, it might be the selectman doing this piece of it. It might be the attorney general doing this piece of it. But if we get a judge to rule that it's unconstitutional, we've already given the town, the state, the remedy.
Correct. So it's absolutely true. And you were talking to me, and it's the same that we've had with all our cases, that the judges are making decisions which they have no authority to do. They can only say whether it's law or not. They can only have an opinion after that, and they must give remedy. And when they say no standing, this is big. This is really big, and I'll send this to you. When they say there's no standing, it is a denial. It is unconstitutional because they gave no remedy, and that is their one and only job. So they can declare law. They cannot interpret law. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And all of this, which is even worse, is they charge fees for this. There's a fee schedule that our taxes pay for this. So what are those fees going for? You know, their Porsche, the luxury chefs.
This lawyer, which is typical of any lawyer you're going to see, it's Upton and Hatfield is the firm that the town uses.
Yeah.
We're talking about constitutional law. This whole motion to dismiss, all they talk about, statutory law. And I mean, and some, they have, you know, case law, which I have not researched what the exact case law is yet. And I'm sure they've only taken what they want to out of it. But they don't even address they muddy the waters. That's what they're famous for.
So funny you should bring that up. This is perfect. So common law, which is the real law of the land, they say out loud, they teach it in law school, et cetera, et cetera. They say common law equals case law. It doesn't. It is not. That's how they screw everything up. That's how they get one over on us. Law as it exists today, nope. Nature's law, God's law. They're not allowed to interpret. They can't, I believe, I feel, I think, I want. It isn't. It's absolute garbage. The court can only tell what law is, and it can only be the rule of law, not the rule of men. And again, they conflate rule of law with rule of men, statutes, rules, regulations, mandates.
And the statutes, I mean, at least constitutional law is approved by the people, right? It's not technically, it's not really common law, constitutional law, but constitutional law, some of it is common law, but it gets passed by the body. These statutes are just partisan discussions and conquered. And like you say, democracy? No. We're not supposed to be founded on democracy. 60%, and I said it in my video this morning, that would, you know, you said 60-40, but worse than that is 51% being able to decide what 49% is going to do.
Correct. And that's not it is. We are a republic
that votes democratically.
Correct. And people just can't wrap their head around, we're a democracy. No, we are not. It's not.
It's because they've heard it. It's like that saying, if you say something 1,000 times, people will just stop believing it. I mean, they're freaking out about the shutdown, right? I'm with you. Keep it shut, because Trump is going to fund what needs to get funded, like WIC. He's going to fund WIC. If there's any shortfall on the food stamps, things like that he knows people are relying on these. These are actually good things that come out of our federal government for people that need it. That's not what he's going to get rid of. He's going to get rid of the waste and the fraud. And by shutting down, now remember, no one seemed to get mad. The Democrats, why weren't they protesting with us at the State House when Sununu shut down for COVID?
Yep. Why didn't they shut down when Obama shut down?
Right. But we literally did the same thing here in New Hampshire. The legislator left, and without authority, let the governor, run the show. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even for the good. That wasn't even constitutionally done. Trump is doing it the way he's supposed to do it. I mean, the tariffs, like you said, bye-bye IRS. It's going to be bye-bye IRS one day, because everything's going to get funded by the tariffs. And maybe we didn't have these programs when the founding fathers set us up. But you know what? Some of them we probably can't just take away, because there's a lot of people in this country that rely on them.
Right.
So if we're going to fund them by the tariffs.
Exactly. Now, it's funny because you and I hadn't really talked. We kind of just, sent messages back and forth. And it's funny, when your internet went out, I just started reading, some notes I made from class last week. And it's interesting because you're throwing out all these words, and I've got these 2 pages going, oh, I've got that right here. And, we are, no. All rights are God-given, unalienable, inherent, and natural. Right. They pre-exist any government. Our rights are declared, not granted. The government doesn't grant it to us. The legislature doesn't grant it to us. The judicial branch and the executive branch does not grant them to us. We own them. They're ours. They're inherent.
Can't do anything with them, and they sure as hell can't conflict with them.
Correct. And here, an untouchable. Our rights are untouchable by, here you ready, statute, border, or emergency. And boom, you said that. Sununu shut down because of COVID. No emergency gives them the right to they can shut down their government. They can shut down all their government workers.
They want to not pay their employees? Fine by me.
Well, they don't want to pay their employees. We don't want to pay their employees because they're not working for us.
So I watched the selectmen meeting last night, and we're not, there's a potential something's not going to happen because the people aren't there in DC right now to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And it's the fire department's talking about it. So it's probably something that's necessary. I don't remember what it is. But my question is, instead of complaining about it and turning it into a partisan issue, which seems to be what always happens, it's because Trump shut the government down, even though Trump wasn't the one that shut it down. That, why don't you get in touch with the legislators in the State House and your DC representatives and tell them that this is going on? Mm-hmm. Why is it just, we have to pray for the government to reopen? Why don't you give them a reason to reopen the government? Maybe if you get it to Trump and he finds out this is happening, it's one of the things that he can make sure gets funded for the fire department.
Correct. And again, they're still collecting our taxes. The government shut down, but the states are collecting taxes for illegal and unconstitutional purposes, like the Department of Education, et cetera. So why are we still having to pay property taxes when the government shut down, when our state senators and congressmen aren't working? Oh, wait a minute. New England doesn't have any representation, do they? So we're still paying for it. Oh, she's frozen again. So I'm going to go on with, we had talked about what the courts are supposed to do. The government has duties. and delegated powers. Well, who delegates them? Excuse me. We, the people, do. We give them the duties. We give them the orders and the laws and whatever we want done. Well, we're supposed to. And we delegate the powers. We give them the authority for X, Y, Z. And it's in the Constitution. If it's not written down, you don't have the authority. So when they made the J6 committee, that wasn't constitutional. They had no authority. And they had no authority to make any decisions because originally those senators and legislators were never delegated the authority by us. And that's the problem. Yet again, over and over and over again, power not delegated cannot be redelegated. So when you elect a school board and they decide to make a committee to decide about a budget, I'm sorry, that is not authority that we gave you. And you don't have the right to give it to somebody else. And this is the problem. Everybody wants something done by somebody else, but we, the people, did not give them the authority. And you wonder why your taxes are so high. You wonder why we don't have our streets fixed. You wonder why they're teaching Johnny that he can become Jill and he just has to cut off his penis. That Genevieve, she can become Joshua. All she has to do is cut off our breasts. Gee, what does that sound like? Does that sound like genital mutilation? It does to me, but I digress. But that's all right. Just give them all the authority. Hello, we're a republic, not a democracy. Stop it. Grab these people by the short ones and say, you don't have the authority. We didn't give it to you. I didn't give it to you because, again, we're a republic and one person can say no. A democracy means, like Regina said, 51% can tell 49% to pound sand. No. In a republic, one person can say no. And let's stop the government and our state and federal from walking in their session with 7,000 bills. We didn't give them to you. We didn't ask you to do that. We didn't ask you to give billions to the UN. We didn't ask you to give billions to the WHO. We didn't ask you to wipe the rear ends of everybody in every other country and fix their countries. All right, she's back. Boy, they really don't.
I don't know if I'm long for this world.
Woo!
Yeah, right. When did we say to do this? When did we tell the 197 countries or whatever it was in 1992 that we wanted to be one world government? The Bushies and all those guys. I mean, people don't even realize what hasn't come out yet. I feel like the shutdown's making stuff come out faster.
I do too. Or what was already said coming around for a second time for those that didn't pay attention.
Yes, like J6. Yes, exactly.
The ones that are in the back of the class, chewing
Wait till
gum.
the 2020 election stuff rears its ugly head.
Well, it already did. I was talking about it last night on Street Talk News, and Pence thinks he's all that and a slice of cheese and that he should be rewarded by Trump. I'm sorry, his job in January was to say, wait a minute, something stinks here.
And I think, didn't Telsey or one of them directly link him to
Brennan?
Brennan, yeah. That guy is gone.
Yep. Again.
Status quo Republican. Their days are over.
Yep. And again, that's why I think, why are there lines in the states? So we can see how many this is and how many that's. To me, it just, I didn't realize that, but why are you dividing states? Why are there political lines? I'm sorry, just let everybody vote. And if you have, we want to do it by X amount of miles, so we've got voting. Well, we're not going to have voting machines, but we divide it up so that the paper ballots can be counted. Then we don't need, like CD2 is half of New Hampshire, and CD1 is this little part. Get rid of all of these districts.
Yeah, CD1 is the rigged part.
Well, CD2 is too, because again.
Yeah, the CD1's Rockingham County, man. I don't care what anyone says, they're the worst because they're right next to Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, we've got Maggie Badlander in CD2, and we've got members of the GOP whose names won't be named right now in public. It will be soon, who are telling people at local Republican meetings who to vote for and who not to vote for, because they know where the money's coming from and they know who's going to support who, and is going around and telling others to drop out or don't drop out. I'm kind of tired of
that's like all these people that sign up and then they drop out. Who do we have sign up? And then now it's John Sununu. Remember someone else is on, and I can't even, Dan Innes, who used to be my state senator.
Yeah.
And then I remember Bill O'Brien did the same thing. He's like, I'm going to drop out, but I want my votes go to Corky Mesner. It's all rigged. That's how they rig it. They always make the weak Republican win. And then the Democrat wins in the end.
Correct. And again, excuse me, if 100 people want to run, then run. Oh, but you know what? It steals votes from the other one. No, it's a republic and you choose who you want. When you're forcing people to drop out, when you're threatening people, when you're saying, I know who Washington wants, I know who the super PAC money's coming from, I know where the skeletons are, you need to shut up and sit down. And
that's like, No, sorry, you go.
No, and
you're getting all riled up.
I know the people need to decide.
No, it's like John Thune. You got John Thune, who can't get freaking Trump's appointed cabinet members or judges, whatever they are, appointed.
Yep.
Because he wants to do the status quo. We all got to get along and play by the stupid rules that haven't worked in 100 years.
Yep.
And he's going to go, he wants to see John Sununu win U.S. Senate. I mean, connect the dots, people. Rhinos endorse rhinos.
Correct.
If anyone in New Hampshire doesn't think that Sununu is a rhino by now, then
I don't know. Kelly Ayotte's not far behind him because she doesn't support Trump. She won't come straight out and say it. She dances all around it and does the New Hampshire Doge, but doesn't lend any credit to where it needs to be. And oh, by the way, she continually blows off Republican. We had a Republican Oktoberfest and she canceled. She canceled 2 years ago. She canceled before that.
Why is she not ordering the Secretary of State to cooperate and submitting our voting records? Because she's listening to the bureaucrats and the lawyers. That's why.
Well, and the other problem is in our state is that the Attorney General should be elected. The Secretary of State should be elected. None of these people should be appointed. There's too many persons being appointed by the governor. And I'm sorry again. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. That is for us to decide, not them.
Right. I agree completely.
God. All right. You want to get on to section 3 here? Because we got some pretty funny videos.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to break 2 and we're going to come back with my favorite baby politics. There we are. The dynamic duo.
Right.
Pain and conquered.
Conquered. Ugh. Conquered cabal.
Oh my God. I smell a t-shirt, Conquered Cabal.
Oh yeah, that's one of my hashtags, Conquered Cabal.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my goodness.
Conquered Cabal, Chamber Cabal.
Oh, I love it. We need to start saying that. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Yeah, come on up and combat with the cabal. All right, let's take a peek at video 2. I just love these. They're awesome.
A federal judge over the weekend that the president had appointed to the bench in his first term in office basically argued that he could not deploy other states' National Guards to Portland, basically said that it was untethered, his argument, to what is actually happening on the ground. Which local officials in Portland have said that the National Guard is needed there, if any?
With all due respect to that judge, I think her opinion is untethered in reality and in the law. The president is using his authority as Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Code 12406, which clearly states that the president has the right to call up the National Guard in cases where he deems it's appropriate. And if you look at what has happened in Portland, Oregon, for more than 100 nights, I was talking to our law enforcement team about it this morning, for more than 100 days, night after night after night, the ICE facility has been really under siege by these anarchists outside. They have been disrespecting law enforcement. They've been inciting violence. We saw, again, a guillotine rolled out in front of this federal building. And so the president wants to ensure that our federal buildings and our assets are protected. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. And ultimately, in the case in Los Angeles, that judge ruled in the Ninth Circuit, that panel of judges ruled that those troops could remain and that the president was well within his authority to do so. So we are appealing that decision. As you know, we expect a hearing on it pretty quickly, and we're very confident in the president's legal authority to do this, and we're very confident we will win on the merits of the law.
But no local officials that you can point to that have said we need the National Guard? Because I spoke to the police chief of Portland last week. He said that the president's claims just don't match up with what's happening on the ground.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity on prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to everything this president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said.
That's awesome. I love it. Caroline Levitt is so cute.
Oh my God, the faces. It goes on for a while. I recommend everybody save it because they're just, and it's so accurate. I mean, and the facial.
I know. The judge is like.
I know, and all the topics, but it's too funny. And, you know, these people that are mouthing off, these reporters that are mouthing off, they're sitting in Washington, you know, in their warm little spaces. They're not out there getting their butts kicked. They're not getting spit on. They're not getting hit with bottles and rocks and stuff. So, you know, enough is enough. It's de-loved, conquered cabal. Yeah, I know. We're going to have to do that. I love it. I think we should name every city the cabal. I'm just watching our time here. So, this is a good one. I'm gonna skip over 2B. Let's go to picture 2C, Chris, and we're gonna kind of whiz through the next ones because this is good. I love this. Whoever's doing these are brilliant. But it's, you know, coming to your city soon. The Office of Extraordinary Rendition. Corrupt the Democrats are. You know, they're putting judges in that never went to law school. And why are they on the bench? Making, again, decisions which they're not allowed to. They can, what did I say? What is the word? They can only opine. They can only decide if it's law. They can only declare law, not interpret it. But yet this is what we've got judges and lawyers doing, which they're not supposed to do. Go to 2D, Chris. So again, I got the thing over there. She thought she'd be safer in the United States than in Ukraine. She's in a train. She sat down, gets stabbed to death. You know, Irina, Christopher Lee. This, I hate to say his name, but that's the guy that murdered her. And why? Because the judges continually let him out for crimes, and many, many, many other people. This is insane. Criminals need to be in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you froze or not. It's just insane.
I know, it's insane. It's insane that we live in, I mean, it's like the opposite world, you know, like the opposites, the Twilight Zone. I don't know how to describe it, but ever since COVID, that's how it's been.
It's absolutely true. You and I, stepped off in the wrong place, crossed the road in the wrong place, we'd be in cuffs and on the ground. You know, oh, you did a speeding ticket. Number one, they don't have the authority for that. But that all said and done, but we've got felons and all across the United States that are being released back into society. Again, who is making these decisions? People that have no authority, and a judge has no authority.
The same judge is telling us that we don't have standing.
Yep. Oh my gosh. All right. So last one is really good. It's video 2I. Again, you know, we heard about this since 2020, that the ballots would come out and you'd fill in your ballot, you put in the envelope. and the person, whether it's the postmaster or the postage people, because we found all these ballots dumped in ditches. Whether it's the people at the polling stations that are opening the envelopes, again, questionable, it's supposed to be the moderator, they can see how you voted. Watch this video, it'll blow your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Vote is cast right here. Put the ballot in this way.
Throw that ballot away.
Yep. Except they don't, depending on whether it's, the good ballot or a bad ballot.
Right. Well, no, they don't want it to be no, right? They want it to be yes or no.
Correct. They want it to be yes. And if it's yes, you can't see it, because if it's no, they can see it and they can get rid of the envelope. They can get rid of the evidence and again, screw with the voting. Again, welcome to California. It's disgusting. I know this happened in Colorado and a couple other places. Thanks, Chris. If you vote no on there.
I know people that have seen it happen in New England states.
Oh, yeah.
Registrars, they're not all called like town clerks. There's different names depending on the state, but they've confessed it to me.
Yep. I have people that have told me that they watched the moderator that was also running and was still the present moderator that got all uptight. They're counting, goes out to their car, comes back with more ballots that get put through the machine. And what happened? Nothing. I don't care if you're the current moderator. If you're running for that position, you should not be anywhere near those machines, just like any of the representatives running. But they're allowed to go, well, they're the current moderator, blah, 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 blah. And then why are you leaving the room and coming back with more paperwork? I mean, this is insanity.
Yeah, there definitely shouldn't be ballots coming into the voting room. All the ballots should be there. Correct. I mean, when the election starts. And then when they leave, they should get, escorted out by the police or whoever they have do that. But
absolutely insanity. Well, as usual, my friend, the hour has flown by, and I want to thank you for coming on. And I'm glad
I was here for anyway.
Absolutely. But gosh, they really were after you, weren't they? I've never seen the internet that bad.
Yeah, well, Comcast that's all we have right now for internet here, but there is a waiting list for Fidium that's coming, but who knows how long that's going to take.
Well, exactly. That's, here, same thing. It's, oh, you've got super fast. Really? Because I haven't seen you put in any new fiber optics. I haven't seen you update the wires, because guess what? Everything that's on this street goes underneath. So, when did you dig up the road, and when did you feed it?
My mother's house, which is right down here too. Everything's we have wires here, but down the street is underground.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
I've never
exactly
seen
when did you work on those? Because I know they haven't, but they're charging top dollar, but they haven't done anything. Put up a lot of poles and a lot of wires, but they haven't actually increased the speed or updated the wiring that comes to your house.
Well, it's like Comcast is the same thing as the schools. The more you give them, the less they do.
Yep. It's anything in life. The more money you give them with no questions asked, with no transparency. I hate that word. But with no accountability.
No accountability. And that's what we have here. We literally have the town telling us that there is no way that we can go to the county court with our problem. Oh, really?
Hold my beer. Actually, hold my bottle of wine.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, my
God. You can't make it up.
You can't. Well, as usual, stay safe, keep us posted, and I'll be talking to you soon. Don't forget, New Hampshire Muckraker, Rumble, and on X.
Yes. Truth Social, too. Bye-bye.
Truth Social. Thank you. Have a fabulous night. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Good night. So there we have it. Don't forget, 9:15. I want you to run on over to Telegram on My Broadcasters and see Reel to Reel with Ron Flosser. and find out the latest actual news, not the garbage that you see on the boob tube, on the television. Come join our chat. All you got to do is hit the button at the top, join, listen in, and if you're a good little doobie, Stiletto and I are throw you a microphone, let you get a chance to opine. Keep the language nice and polite, and we just love to have people come join us. Have a fabulous night. Stay safe, eyes open, and remember, we are a republic, and it is your job to push back on the government and tell your legislators what you want. It only takes one. In a democracy, it's mob rule. In a republic, it only takes one. Be that one. See you next time.